Hi, my name is Emily and welcome to Sweet Creek Parents. In today's video, I'm really excited to be sharing how to crochet these adorable little chicks. So these are a super quick and simple pattern, and they're the baby version of my mama chicken pattern. Now, I did want to mention a couple things before we go ahead and jump into the video. First off, this mama chicken pattern will be releasing next week, hopefully on my YouTube channel. And also, I want to mention that these will be free patterns on my blog. So you can click the link in the description box down below for the free written instructions for the baby chicks, and then also once I release the mama chicken pattern, there'll be a link for that as well. And then I also want to mention that the ad-free PDF will be available in my pattern shop and on my Etsy. And then the last thing I want to mention is if at any point in this video I'm talking too fast or too slow for you, you can always adjust the playback speed by clicking the little settings gear icon in the bottom right corner of the video, clicking playback speed, and then you can adjust it from there. So I either talk faster or slower depending on whether you're more of an advanced or beginner crocheter. So let's go ahead and jump into the video for how to make these adorable little chicks. So the supplies that we'll need today is you'll need some scissors. Now this, I crocheted a cover for the tops of this, but these are just regular old scissors. Let me see if I can get the cover off. There you go. These are just regular old scissors. Then you'll need a darning needle to weave in your tails. You'll need a 7mm crochet hook, and I crocheted once upon a time with some really dark yarn that stained my hooks, so it's a little bit black, but that's okay. You'll need some 10mm safety eyes, and I just buy my eyes off Amazon, and then I like to hot glue the backs of the safety eyes. Then you'll need a stitch marker, and you'll need some stuffing, and I'm just using regular polyfill stuffing. And then the yarn that you'll need one color for the body. So like you can see here, one color for the body, one color for the beak. So today I'll be using, this is Bernat blanket yarn in the color Almond. And then you'll also need your color for the beak, and that will be, for me, Bernat Baby Blanket in the color Terracotta. So this tan and orange is the colors that I'll be using today. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get started on making this baby chicken. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to grab my tan colored yarn and my 7mm hook. And we are going to begin by making a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, you're going to put the yarn at the base of your finger. Then you're going to wrap it around your finger twice. Grab the back loop, bring it over into the front. And then grab the new back loop and bring it up and over and off your finger. Then go ahead and tighten by pulling both tails. And then put that loop onto your hook and tighten that onto your hook so that it slides nice and easy. Now you're going to go ahead and chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we are going to single crochet into the second chain from hook. So the loop on your hook does not count as a chain. You're going to skip that first chain, and you're going to go ahead and single crochet into that second chain from hook. I like to put my stitch marker here now. And then you're going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1, or technically next 2 chains. So we've now done 3 single crochets, and now into that very last chain we are going to do 3 single crochets. So 3 single crochets into 1 chain, and the reason for that is that we are going to be flipping to the bottom side of our work. So you did 1 single crochet, now we're going to do a second single crochet, and then a third single crochet, and that will flip us to the bottom of that chain. And so now we are going to go ahead and single crochet into the next 2 stitches again, technically into the bottom of those 2 chains. And then into that last chain, we are going to go ahead and make a single crochet increase. So that just means 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. And if you've never done a single crochet, you simply insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now, if you're struggling with any stitch at any point in this video, feel free to look up a tutorial for how to do that stitch on my channel or on another crocheter's channel. There'll be lots of good videos. So if at any point I'm going too fast for you, you can always do that. Okay, so for round number 2, we are going to single crochet increase into that first stitch, and we're just going to go ahead and insert our hook, into that first stitch. And I forgot to mention, but for the end of round number 1, you should have 10 stitches. And now for round number 2, we are going to insert our hook into the top of that first stitch, and we're going to make a single crochet increase into that first stitch. So that means 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do 1 more single crochet into that same single crochet. So you can see there's 2 single crochets coming out of that 1 stitch. Then we are going to go ahead and we're going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to go ahead and single crochet increase into the next 3 stitches. So that means we're going to single crochet 2 into the next 3 stitches. So make a single crochet increase into that first stitch. Make a single crochet increase into the next stitch. And then 1 more single crochet increase into that next stitch. So you can see that should be how it's looking. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches again. And then into the remaining 2 stitches, we're going to do a single crochet increase into each of these stitches. So we'll do 2 single crochets into that 1 stitch, and then 2 single crochets into this stitch. So now you should have 16 stitches at the end of round number 2, and this is how it should be looking. Now for round number 3, we're going to single crochet into the back loop only in each stitch around. Now, to do the back loop only, what we're going to do is I'm going to move the stitch marker off so that you can see this stitch better. So when you look at the top of the stitch, it's kind of a V. So there's the left side and then the right side. So you're going to insert your hook into that back loop, which means that the front loop should be facing toward you, which is right here. That's the front loop, and then here's the back loop. So you're going to insert your hook down that center of that top stitch, and then bring your hook out to the back. So you just grab 1 loop instead of 2 loops like you normally would. So there's the front loop and the back loop. Front loop, back loop. Insert your hook down the center of that center top of that stitch. So you can see there's the front loop, and then you're going to bring your hook, so you bring your hook down, and then you're going to go back out to the back side and make a single crochet. So that's what they call a single crochet into the back loop only. And so you're just going to keep doing this into each stitch around. So you can see we did that first stitch. Now here's the next stitch. And there's the front loop and the back loop. And it's kind of hard to see on this fuzzy yarn, but hopefully you're kind of getting the idea. So there's the front loop under my hook. And so you're going to insert your hook down the top center. So you can see there's the front loop and the back loop. Insert your hook down the center, and then bring your hook down and back to the back loop. So insert your hook down the top of those 2 stitches, and then bring your hook to the back. And you're going to do that in each stitch around, so you'll end up again with 16 stitches because we're not doing any increases or decreases. We're just working into the back loop only of each stitch around. So make sure you're working into that back loop only. And you can see once you start working into that back loop only, it will start to feel more easy and you'll get used to it. And the reason that we are doing this back loop only is because once the chicken is done, so now you can kind of see it's wanting to roll in, you're going to want to push that out so that the front of your work is facing out. And you can see that once we're done, working into the back loop only makes kind of a ridge along the base, so it helps the chicken to stand up and not fall over. So that's the reason for doing the back loop only and leaving the front loops unworked. So you can see there's the front loops all along there. So I just finished that round and I have 16 stitches. And now for rounds 4 and 5, we're going to single crochet into each stitch around. So we'll end up with 16 stitches again, and I'm going to go ahead and complete these next 2 rounds off camera, and then I'll meet you right back after I finish round number 5, and we'll continue on together. All right, so as we can see, you did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so we're done with round 5, and this is how it should be looking. So now for round number 6, we're going to go ahead and single crochet into the first 15 stitches, and then we're going to double crochet into that last stitch. So I'm just going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And now into that very last stitch, we're going to make 1 double crochet. So to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. So now we finished round number 6, and so now for round number 7, we are going to begin this round by making a double crochet into this next stitch. So go ahead and make a double crochet into that next stitch, move our stitch marker, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 11 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so now that I worked the 11 single crochets, we are going to start working the head. So technically we are done with round number 7. Now the reason that we stopped here is for rounds 8 and 9, we are going to make the little head part of this chicken. So to do that, what we're going to do is we are going to count from our stitch marker over 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so into that 5th stitch, we are going to take our hook, which is right here, and we are going to insert our hook over into that 5th stitch from the stitch marker. And then we're going to go ahead and make a single crochet. We're going to go ahead and move our stitch marker up to that single crochet we just made. And now we are going to go ahead and single crochet into each of those 8 stitches. So I am working on that. There's 7 and 8. And now that was round number 8, so you can kind of get the idea of what we just did. We, instead of coming back to here, we just insert our hook into that 5th stitch from that stitch marker and worked into there, and now we made like our own little circle apart from the main body circle. So now for round number 9, we're going to do the exact same thing we did for round 8, or basically, because we're not moving stitches in, we're just single crocheting into each stitch around. So go ahead and make a single crochet into each stitch around, and I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and we're going to single crochet around, and then we will actually be done with the body. So we'll do the attaching the eyes and then stuffing the body and closing the head, and then we'll do the beak. So I just did my last stitch, and now what we are going to go ahead and do is I like to make a slip stitch into that very first stitch just to finish it off nice and smooth. And so there we go, we have finished our chicken body. Now I'm going to leave myself a nice long tail to close off the top of this head and close off the body. So maybe like a 10-inch tail or so. However long you want to leave it, you're welcome to. So now we're going to go ahead and tie off. So to tie off, you yarn over and pull through, and then pull up on that loop, and then tighten that loop down. So now we have officially completed our chicken. I'm going to go ahead and get my safety eyes, and we're going to attach the safety eyes onto round number 8. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the one round down. And we're going to attach them 3 stitches apart. So I mean, just put that in there and count over then. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to have 3 stitches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have 1, 2, and I think I'm going to do a third. Yeah, so I'm going to do 3 stitches between the 2 safety eyes, and then this is in the 4th stitches. So there's 3 unworked stitches, and then into the stitch next to them I'm putting the safety eyes, but you can do it wherever you want. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and attach, and then I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the backs. And then I'll be right back and we'll stuff the body and close off the top and do the beak. Okay, so I just finished doing the backers, the hot gluing the backs of the safety eyes, like you can see right there a little bit. And so now what I'm gonna do is I just start to stuff it, and I like to put some stuffing down this head and then also in the body, like so. And you can put how much stuffing you want. I like to stuff mine pretty firmly, but you can do however much you want. And now we're gonna go ahead and grab our long tail and put that onto the darning needle. Now I like to put the tail of yarn over my thumb nail and then put that darning needle down onto my nail, and that is a really easy way to get your darning needle threaded every time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work into the front loop only of each stitch. So you can see there's the first stitch. I'm just going to grab that front loop, then I'm going to grab the front loop of that next stitch, the front loop of the next stitch. And if you can't find the front loop, it's okay to work into both loops. I just prefer to work into the front loop. So I'm going to work into the front loop of each of these 8 stitches, like so. And then as you're pulling it, you can just pull it shut a little bit, like that. So once you have completed that, I'm going to go ahead and you can see that that is nice and closed, that top. So I'm going to go ahead and work my way down into the body part right here, the base of that head slash beginning of the body, where we're going to sew that shut next. So I'm just going to bring my yarn down like that, and you can see that is how the top should look now that we've completed, and I think that looks really good. So we're going to go ahead and start working on this, closing this. So when I close this, so we did that in a circle. I like to close this going back and forth. So we're going to go ahead and start right here, and we're going to go into the front loop of that single crochet, and then we're going to find that front loop of that single crochet that's equivalent on the other side, which would be right here. There we go. So I find the front loop of this, and then this one looks like the back loop, but it's actually the front loop when you turn to this side. And I'm just going to pull that through. Then I'm going to take my darning needle and come back to this side, go under the front loop, grab the front loop of that side, what looks like the back loop, but it's actually the front loop. And now before we finish closing everything off, if you want to add any more stuffing, this is the time to do it. I might do a little bit more stuffing. I'm a little bit of a crazy stuffing lady, but I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. So I'm going to go to this side, grab the front loops, and keep going up. Now the reason we did those 2 double crochets was to make kind of a tail right here, and so if you squish it down a little bit, you'll notice that there's kind of that tail, and that was the goal. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it like that and make sure it's secured. You can always add some stuffing into that tail part to make it look a little bit bigger, but yeah, for now we're officially done with closing off the body. And so now the last thing that we'll need to do before we are fully done with this chicken, this little baby chick, is to do the beak. So now we're going to begin the beak. Now I actually just made a beak using a 7mm hook, and I felt like it ended up being way too big. It looked way bigger than this. So I'm going to use a 4.5mm hook. You can use whatever hook size you want. You can use a 7mm hook if you like. It just, for me, was turning out a little bit too big, and it was looking more like a toucan than a baby chick beak. So I'm going to go ahead and use a 4.5mm hook and follow the instructions. So we made a slip knot. Now I'm going to go ahead and chain 2, 1 and 2. Then I'm going to half double crochet into that second chain from hook. So to make a half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Then we're going to go ahead and cut our yarn and tie off, pull up the loop, and we're now done with the beak. So now we just have to take the darning needle, and I'm going to grab the tail that we use to make the slip knot, and I'm going to go ahead and just go from one edge right here to of the beak, to the other side. And the reason for that is just to make it look a little bit more round and a little bit less like a triangle. So I'm just going to go around like that and grab one more stitch on this side. If I can find a stitch to work into, there we go, like that, and pull that through just like that, so it makes it a little bit more round. And now we're going to go ahead and attach it onto the body. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the long tail that we left, put that onto my darning needle, find the center of round 8, which is the same round that we put the eyes on. Go ahead and put that on, and then I'm just going to grab a little bit of the orange, and then I'm going to just grab a little bit of the white or the tan again, and then grab a little bit more of the orange and just make it look like this in the end. So kind of just doing a little bit of a whip stitch to make sure it's nice and secure and looking good. And I think I'm very happy with that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and tie in this tail, and then I'll meet you back and we'll be officially done. Thank you so much for making these adorable little chicks along with me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please make sure to give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because next week's tutorial will be, at least hopefully, will be how to crochet this chicken. Also, don't forget to, if you want the free patterns for either of these, you can check the link in the description box down below. And make sure to comment down below and tell me what colors you made this chicken in. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. And so thank you so much for watching. If you are at all interested in watching the design process of these chickens, make sure to click on this next video here. And if not, that's okay. I'll see you in next week's video. Bye!